Lesson 6, Classes. What are classes? In Java, classes are blueprints for object. This means that every time an object of this class is created, it has to follow this class guidelines. Why do we have classes? It makes coding much more efficient later on, as we will have objects interacting with each other. Let's take a look at what a class diagram looks like. A class diagram is a visual way to understand what a class is in Java. So here we have a student class, and inside this diagram we can see first name, last name, student number, community hours, and address. This means for the student class, each object, or student we should say, that is created will have these variables. Now, if you have two students, each student will have its own set of variables, and these variables will share names. This means that both objects student1 and student2 of the student class will have the string first name. What differentiates which belong to which object? In this case, student1 and student2 are the differentiators. Student 1 will have its first name and student 2 will have its first name, and the only way to access each of these are done through accessors. This makes interaction with objects a lot easier as we don't have to create new variables each time. For example, first name 1 and first name 2, each time a new student is created. They can share a variable name defined by the class but will be unique to the object. For example, student 1 and student 2. Now, let's take a look at three parts of a class. The first part is the constructor, which we will go in more detail in the next video. The second part are instance variables. These are variables that we see in a class diagram, where each object of a certain class will possess its class inherent instance variables. Other variables used in methods only exist in those methods, so they're not mentioned here. The third part of a class are its methods. These could be accessors, which retrieve information from its class and sends it to another class, and mutators, which change variable value in this class. The last thing to remember when dealing with classes is that all your instance variables must be private. For example, private string first name. The private prevents other classes from changing its value without the use of a mutator method. Again, mutators are methods that allow other classes to change variable values of this class, and accessors are methods that will allow other classes to gain access to various variable values of this class. This concept comes useful when working in groups so that other person's code does not randomly change your variable values and potentially creating errors in your overall project that could take hours to fix.